Hey, thanks for dropping in. One of the questions I get asked a lot as a painter and a tutor is how do I make my paintings look so vibrant? How do I avoid muddy color? And it's a really common question, really good question. And so I'll put this video together for you. It's got 4 tips to avoiding muddy color. And the last one is really critical, so enjoy. So the first tip is when you're beginning to paint, avoid using black, Payne's grey and burnt sienna. These 3 colors are often overused in the darks and they tend to creep out into the mid values where most of your vibrant color is usually found. If you're having trouble with muddy color, simply remove these colors from your palette. Okay, the second tip is to try adding more saturated color to your darks and your mid values. You can usually tell when a beginner painting paints from a photo because the darks are really dense and lacking any color. They're copying the photograph, and cameras often do that to colors in the shade. As you've already seen in a previous chapter, you can overcome that to a certain degree by digitally dabbling with your photograph, raising the value and the saturation in the darks before you paint it. Better yet, skip the middleman and paint straight from nature. Either way, try consciously adding more saturated color to your darks and mid values. Doing that lifts the color throughout the whole painting. Here's 2 paintings of Ruakaka Beach. A really vibrant, colorful one and a more subdued gray one. So look at the difference in those colors. This is the same beach, just looking different directions, but the color treatment and the brushwork is completely different. Up to you how vibrant you want to make your painting. Now here's a photo I took in Mexico, and here's the edited photo where I've raised the saturation by about 50%, lightened the shadows by about 30%, and increased the exposure by about 40%. So the whole thing looks brighter and more colorful. Now here's the painting I did based on that edited photo. The third tip is to keep your brushes clean in between brush strokes. Now I see people not doing this all the time, and if you want to make mud, that is one of the most surefire ways that you can do that. It's just painters not being aware of what's on the end of their brush. So if I'm painting this sunlit snow onto this dark mountain here, I've got to be really careful about what I pick up on the end of that brush. At the moment it's very pure light color. And let's see what happens when I paint onto this dark background. So straight away, you can see I've picked up some dark paint on there. I'm trying to lay paint down, but inevitably, I'm also picking paint up. Now, if I continue to paint with that, what will I get? I'll just get mud. Watch what happens. So that second stroke was nowhere near the vibrancy or the lightness of that first stroke, and now I've picked up even more mud. So if I kept going with that, it would just get worse and worse. So in this sort of situation where I'm painting light into dark, or if I was painting dark into light, or warm into cool, or cool into warm, I really want to be careful about what I pick up on the end of that brush. All you have to do is do the brush stroke, take a look. If it's dirty, either wipe it on the palette or on a tissue or a rag. Get it clean, reload it with fresh paint, and then go again. Much better. So after every stroke, just check what's on there, clean it off, reload, and go again. Just means being a bit more careful. Same story if I go and try and paint the sky in there. So one stroke, let's see what I've picked up. A little bit of darker stuff because I've kept it pretty thin actually, that dark stuff there, so it's not too much of a problem. Wipe it off. If you used only this one key tip, your muddy problems will instantly be cut in half. Okay, tip number 4 is to use separate brushes for your lights and your darks and your cools and your warms. Here's how I do that in the studio. I've got brushes here for the darks and brushes here for the lights. Got it kept up off the surface by a stick so that they're not rolling around in each other's color. And it's great because it's faster, it's cleaner, and it makes your brushes last longer because you're not using just 1 or 2 brushes that get worn down quickly. So obviously this is going to really help with keeping your color pure on your painting, because what makes a muddy color? It's when a light mixes in with a dark, or when a cool mixes in with a warm. And if you keep your brushes separate like this, instead of having that all going on in the one brush, even if you do clean it, a single brush, you know, it's hard to clean it enough to get all of that paint out before you go reaching into another paint. So if you paint with more brushes, you get more vibrant color. It's also a lot faster because you don't have to keep cleaning your brush all the time. You just reach for whichever brush it is that you're going to use. And away you go. When I'm painting outdoors, I use this little system here, which is just a wire that I bent, and that keeps the brushes separate. And I'll have my darks on that side and my lights on that side. So whatever system it is that you use to hold lots of brushes, it's just important that you keep them separated so that they don't go rolling around in each other's color. Hey, thanks for watching this far. I appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoyed those 4 tips. And I've got something else for you. You know, as a professional artist for 20 years, I've had some amazing things happen in my life due to painting, and I want to give credit to that. You know, I've traveled around the world and taught workshops in beautiful locations, spoken in conferences and published books, and had thousands of painters around the world enjoy my online lessons and create a really great business out of that. And I'm still surprised after seeing all of that there are some artists who don't know about, even professional artists who don't know about the next 4 tips I want to show you about achieving vibrant color in your paintings and how to avoid muddy color. And I put that in a video for you, which you can get on the next page if you just click through the link in the description, or there's probably a button here or here, I'm not sure which, and I'll take you to a page where you can get that video. And I've also created for you a vibrant color cheat sheet, which contains all these 8 tips and a couple of extra bonuses for you as well. So if you'd like to get your hands on that, just click through the next page and you can get access to that. Okay, enjoy.